In this video, we're going to add the hit animation to our skeleton. So currently right now what we have is if we hit our skeleton, it's going to damage him. What we'd like to do is every time we hit our skeleton and call that damage method, it's going to trigger a hit animation. So we'll come over here, attack, and it should basically trigger its hit and go to idle, because at that point it's going to then begin attacking us back. So to get started, the first thing we need to do is create our hit animation. Underneath our sprites, drop into your characters and select the skeleton. And in here, we're going to go to the skeleton hit animation. Make sure we've already sliced that out by a 256. Sprite mode is multiple. Once you have this, we will then go ahead and create the animation for it. So click on the skeleton enemy in the hierarchy, select the sprite, go to the animation view. From here, we're going to create a new animation clip. Go into Sprites, Characters, Skeleton, the Animations folder, and we're going to call this Hit. Save that. Replace it if it's already there. Looks like we may have created this before. From there, we need to take our skeleton. We're going to take the hit animation, and let's drag all frames inside. Let's set the sample rate to about 20. And here we can play, and there's our hit. So that's exactly what we want. Now that we have that set up, we now need to trigger that animation when we call that damage function. So let's open up our animator view. And if we select our sprite here, you'll see here that currently we have idle, walk, and we have any state is hit. So we previously created this, and any state is set to hit, meaning that if you're in idle or walk, we're going to go to hit. So for this, we're going to say has exit time for the transition is no. So we're instantly going to go to hit. And then after we go to the hit animation, we're going to go to idle. All right, so we're going to do a full animation of hit and then transition to idle. For this transition duration, you can set that to 0. We don't want to fade from hit to idle. Once we have that, we now need to get a reference to this animation component, and then we can call the hit animation, trigger it. So to do this, we're going to open up our script, and inside of our skeleton here, we have our damage method. And all we're going to do here is we're going to say damage, we're going to subtract health, and then we're going to grab our animator component. So the animator component for the skeleton should be inside of our enemy here. And if we hit F12 on this in Visual Studio, it would take us to that enemy script. And you'll see here that we actually have a protected animator anim. So we can actually just use that. So if within our skeleton, we're going to hop back down here and we're going to type anim.setTrigger, and we're going to call hit. Save this. Let's run our game and see if it works. Let Unity compile, and here we go. So right now, when we attack our skeleton here, he should be playing his hit animation. Let's see. And there you go. So one of the things you notice here is that it's going to play its hit animation and it keeps on moving. The reason for that is because we also need to tell it, hey, stop moving. Because right now the code says just move between your waypoints, and we're telling it to basically play that animation, then play your idle, but keep moving. So through code, we need to basically stop the logic that says pause, you've just been hit. So in the next video, we're going to solve that.